Hello and welcome to Part 2, Module 6. This is Chapter 9, Ethical Aspects of Gerontological Nursing. By the end of this lecture, the learner will be able to discuss various philosophies regarding right and wrong, describe ethical standards and principles and cultural considerations guiding nursing practice, list factors that have increased ethical dilemmas for nurses, identify measures to help nurse make ethical decisions. As always, I would love for you to know these terms: autonomy, benefits, confidentiality, ethics, fidelity, justice, non-maleficence, veracity. When we're talking about ethics, it's very important for you to look at all three of these bullet points. You must understand understand ethics of nursing profession and your own personal ethics. Professional ethics. I know I went a little backwards, but principles of guiding right and wrong conduct. Many ethical dilemmas facing gerontological nurses today. Think about the environment that they're working in. We went over some of these terms in class, but I wanted to reinforce them. Utilitarianism, egoism, relativism, and absolutism. Look at the definitions. Good acts benefiting greatest number of people. Remember, I split the class in half and said, oh, well, this side would get the medical treatment, but the other side wouldn't, because that side of the class was a greater amount of people. That's not so right in some people's books like myself, because why can't the other folks on the other side get the treatment as well? What makes them different? Egoism, morally acceptable benefit for oneself. If it's good for me, then it's good for all. Now, that's not necessarily true. What's good for me may not be good for all, but that's how that or those particular individuals think. Relativism, right and wrong relative to a situation. And then also, last but not least, specific truths to guide actions. Absolutism. So please look into those. If you have any questions or need further examples, please let me know. Here's a good question. Which statement best describes relativism? You have A, B, and C. Also D. And there's your answer. When we think about ethical principles, let's think about some of these bullet points down here. Do you find any of what you do in these bullet points? I do. I definitely want to have autonomy, respect freedom, and for the patient. Let them know their rights and their preference. Make sure I'm giving them confidentiality. I'm respecting their privacy. I'm making sure that I'm just. You want to be fair and treat the individuals equally. Also, we definitely don't want to prevent harm to anyone, and we want to do good. This is why I say, if we are ethical, and regardless of how many rules and state laws and Senate bills there are, if we're doing the right thing, more than likely we are following underneath those rules and regulations along with the standards of care. Here's another question for you. I hope you answer correctly, and here's your answer. Not sure if the first slide went through. There was the question, and here's the answer. Now, we do have ethical dilemmas facing gerontological nurses. Most clinical situations, not simple, clear-cut ethical decisions. Sometimes nurses, they have conflict with their own values, their internal system affecting decisions, conflicts with rights of patients and nurses' responsibility. So as I spoke earlier in class, we can't impose our values on the patient, or the resident, or the older adult. So we must respect how they feel, what religion they have, their culture, and not put our values on them. Let's look at some questions. Is the following statement true or false? It is true for those who answer true. So the rationale. This is going to help as you read the rationale. It's going to help with the next slide as we move forward. So changes increasing ethical dilemmas for nursing. We have expanded roles. We're now informatic nurses, critical care nurses, certified nurses, our medical terminology, new fiscal constraints, conflicts of interest, greater numbers of older adults who we're providing care for, assisted suicide. So all of these are dilemmas that the gerontological nurses are facing, and their belief, especially the last bullet point. So these are some measures to help nurses make ethical decisions. So make sure to encourage patients' expression of desire. Ask the patient how they're feeling and what they want, not what we want, but what they want. Identify significant others who impact and are impacted. So remember, we take care of the patient and we also taking care of the family. Know yourself. Know how you feel and how you feel towards a certain population, and be straight with yourself and tell yourself, hey, I'm at work and I don't put on my culture, my belief onto this patient. I don't try to change them because I feel it's wrong. We have to respect the other person who is the patient / resident or older adult. Okay, when you have dilemmas, you may want to form an ethics committee. There are some people who are knowledgeable in more ethical dilemmas than nurses are. And so when we form that committee, which consists of the members of the ethics committee, physicians, nurses, social workers, case managers, we can help make an informed decision, not a personal decision. Remember, those are all experts, and we're consulting with them to help us make those decisions and care when an ethical dilemma may come up between family, patient, and patient themselves, and just the situation as a whole. And make sure that we share and evaluate our decisions. And I believe the best part is called interprofessional relationships, and we can have those relationships with all healthcare partners and individuals. I can only reinforce, do the right thing. Do not cut corners. Listen to your patient. Your patient is your main focus. Their family surrounds them. So your patient is first, and then their environment, which could be their home, their family, things that are going around them that contributes to their well-being. Being ethical is doing the right thing. Thank you. So now we'll go on to part 3, and that will be chapter 10 on the next presentation. So this was 8 minutes or so. So hopefully it wasn't too quick. If you have any questions, feel free to text me, email me, call me. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.